Hello YouTube, this is the Gentleman Scholar. I wasn't planning on doing a book haul video today, but it just kind of happened. A little interesting story behind that, but first, little something, little McClellan single malt here, which is it's bottom shelf, but it's pretty good. I mean, Scotch is expensive, and there's other things I need to spend money on, like books and comics and movies and knickknacks, as you can see behind me, are just a small example of it. That's Nori the cat. God rest his soul. Mm. So once upon a time, in July, I went to my brother's funeral up in Marston, Quebec. Let's get that straightened out. Figure it was easier to do this with a laptop than there. There we go. And my aunt rather, gave me this picture in a great frame. This is a picture of my favorite picture of my dad, my brother, and me. And in that picture, I'm the only one left alive. Um, Kevin, right there, my younger brother. We weren't very close, but he passed away at age 42. And it was tragic. It was a stupid way to die. I think I talked about it back in summertime. But yeah, I went to the funeral, and we weren't very close. But because I had to go up there, I discovered that I had a family up there, even though I don't communicate with them very much. But again, I think I covered this. I accidentally broke the frame that this came in. And the glass that surrounded it. Right there, you can see me. That's the regular Poirier posture, which I didn't know got passed down. Look, I have hair. Pretty cool. Anyway, I went into Savers looking to buy myself a frame for it. So this is going to be the frame. Eventually, I'll pop it in there when I have a moment. And hopefully not break this one. And that was the only thing I went in there with my little tape measure to find out how much it was going to cost. But then I said, Garrett, let's go look at the books because, hey, if we're in Savers, we're going to look at books, right? So, one of the first things I saw was 5 volumes of this. Why the Last Man? Now, this is a critically acclaimed graphic novel. It was a critically acclaimed comic book once upon a time that ran its course, and that now they've been collected in 5 volumes from Vertigo Comics. So let's see. That's 4. That's 5. 4, 5. The only thing I know about it is it's a science fiction concept. He's the last man on Earth, and I don't know if he's supposed to be breeding stock to get the rest of humanity going again. I don't know. But I'm going to find out when I read this eventually. So this is just a little too good of a deal to pass up. Book 2. And my cat's going to try and come up here and sit with me, but he can't because I'm kind of busy. Ugh. Last but not least. Okay. And first one here. So, I saw every volume up there except number 2. And here comes Kitty. He's going to try and come on and screw everything up. Hi, Kitty. There you are, Kitty. We're just going to go raw. We're not going to edit this. Hi, Kitty. Say hello to Willie, everybody. Willie wants to know what's going on. He wants to sit on my lap. He wants to know what I'm drinking. And we'll hang out together when I'm done this, Kitty, I promise. Or he could just be sitting down now. Hey, Kitty, can you give me a second? Can you just give me a second? You gotta love cats. They just don't care. They're like quiet little chaos engines. But that's the only way you're going to get to see Kitty, because if you showed up at my house in person, he would disappear and hide behind the nearest molecule. He had a very hard childhood, our Willie did, and the first sign of danger, he hides. Kitty, can I have the spotlight for just a little bit? Yeah, there we go. So, all these 5 volumes, they're about like $5 a piece. So, the only thing I was missing was 2, but I found it on the top shelf, so it's like, okay, it's settled. I'm going to buy it. So they're about like $5.50 a piece. But look at these things. They're freaking hardcover. In a critically acclaimed, I believe it's the whole saga. So I will be checking that out at some point. Let me just put this down so that I'm not smashing that picture again. Smashing that picture frame. As you can see, I'm not a very organized presenter, but that's okay. Who cares? Also picked this up, Secret Warriors. It's an outgrowth of one of Marvel's events starring Nick Fury. And I'm saying this only to differentiate. It's the white Nick Fury. It's an offshoot from some miniseries. Nick Fury, former director of the now defunct S.H.I.E.L.D., has gathered a special hand-picked team, young and untested. So the price is right. So I figured it has a whole bunch of writers that I like in it, so I picked that up. We'll be enjoying that. I forget how they explain how Nick Fury is related to the Black Nick Fury in comics. I think the Black Nick Fury is the white Nick Fury's nephew. I don't know. See, when you have cross-media stuff like that, the writers have to kind of shoehorn it in there somehow to make it all fit. So, thing I know is a little interesting thing about Nick Fury. As a black guy, he once showed up in this thing called the Ultimate Marvel Universe. It was basically a fresh jumping off point back in, I want to say, 2005. It started with Ultimate Spider-Man. Was it Ultimate Spider-Man? Yeah, I believe it was Ultimate Spider-Man. And it was set in a brand new universe, so new readers can jump on. And of course, Ultimate Spider-Man, written by Brian Michael Bendis, became super popular. So of course, they had to introduce fresh, updated concepts of the other stuff, like the X-Men and the Avengers, except the Avengers were called the Ultimates. And in there, Nick Fury was black. And the best thing is, and this is long before the movies, over a decade before the movies came out, the characters are talking about who would play them in a movie. And the Black Nick Fury, of course, says, "Who's going to play me?" Of course, no one but Samuel L. Jackson. He's, that mofo rocks. And I'm like, and of course, real life, what you see in the Avengers movies today is pretty much a mixture of classic Marvel comics and the ultimate line. Kind of a mixture of the two. And that's what it became a self-fulfilling prophecy is what I'm saying. And I was there at the ground floor to see it all. They even mentioned Robert Downey Jr. and they was like, "Oh, he has no chance of playing any of these characters. He's a washed up has-been," because at the time Robert Downey Jr. he was in rehab I don't know how many times, and it didn't seem like his career was going to ever go anywhere until a little movie called Iron Man showed up, and that was his. I don't want to say it's his last shot, but it was he wasn't a big risk because his asking price was pretty low at the time. So Disney made that first movie with him, and it was good. And then you got that was the entry point into the main movie Marvel universe, which you now have, 22 movies and God knows how many TV series now. And he's one of the highest paid actors on the planet. Anyway, so saw this Stephen King, the Dark Tower book Through the Wastelands. I'm not sure if I already have this. But as I plan to be reading this soon, I figure I want it close to hand. I could show you the Zero Room downstairs, but it's not like Mark Richardson's grotto. His grotto is very neat looking. Mine, I'm embarrassed. I'm a slob anyway. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I'm a collector more than an organizer. I want to straighten out that room downstairs during the summertime when I get a couch frame out of there. I want to be able to go and start organizing the books, maybe getting rid of some, or just at least grouping the titles and genres together, which would be nice. So bring some kind of order to it. But in the meantime, these are just going to be shoved in the room in another pile. Okay, what else do we have here? We have Elevation, Stephen King. This guy craps out books. I mean, I'd be happy to write a book. Never mind this guy. He just kind of just tosses them off. No big deal. And, so, yeah. Doesn't look like a big read, so of course, you kind of had to get it. What else do we have here? We have, how could I not get this? How to Survive a Horror Movie. I don't even know where this came from, but the price was right, and, this pretty much covers it all, from slashers to possessed cursed objects to hauntings and everything like that. So As far as I'm concerned, horror movies are training films. So here you go. What else do I have in here? Kind of heavy. Did I miss any books here? No, I didn't miss any books, but I always collect these because I do morning pages in the morning. It's kind of like a journal, except it's more unstructured. I actually have a journal, which is more structured. This is what happened to me today and my reactions to it. Lately, it's become a series of letters to my departed husband. I usually just tell him about my day. Usually end up bawling when I write it. So the morning pages is pretty much my unfiltered thoughts in the morning, whatever's on my mind. So of course, I got 3 more blank notebooks at $1.99 a piece, which is far, far cheaper than going to like CVS and going to the stationery section and getting it. It takes me about, I want to say about 3 months to fill up a 3 subject notebook, give or take. I'm not measuring it. I just write and write until I want to stop writing, and that's it. I'd like to write fiction, but like I said, fiction is work, and Gary is lazy. So if you just bear with me for a second, I'm just putting all of these back in the bag here. It's like for easy carrying downstairs into that book explosion called The Zero Room. Bear with me for a moment. And guess what? I also have a box that showed up. And in that box, come on. Ugh. It's from Amazon. Come on, get over here. Get over here. Ugh. Already got the X-Acto knife ready to go on it. And going to be careful how I cut this, because wouldn't it be awesome if I ended up going to the emergency room tonight as I'm cutting a box open? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Like I haven't seen enough of that place. Let's open this carefully. I already know it's in here, but I'll share it with you because it just happened to show up today. So I'm going to add it to the show because, hey, who doesn't love bonus content? Careful. Careful. Okay, first of all. Oh, this finally showed up. Yanks in the RAF. This one took a while to get to me because it was on back order and they couldn't find it here and find it there, so I guess it finally showed up. They'll be probably reading that in the very near future. Also, remember Douglas Hoover? The Sarvan, the book I wrote. This is another one of his books called The North Woods, which of course takes place in Maine. And of course, just throw that over there because this is fire fodder. I'm right next to the wood stove right now. In the background, in case you're curious, I'm watching an old episode of Wagon Train. And hopefully I won't get a copyright ding for that. And to treat myself, I got myself a Funko Pop, which has become sort of a miniature obsession to me now. If you ever saw John Carpenter's The Thing, you remember that dog scene in the kennel when the Thing did its first transformation, when it was under danger. The Thing, disguised as a husky dog, was amongst a bunch of normal dogs, which of course smelled something off. It wasn't one of them. So they started growling at the intruder in their midst. And then the Thing being threatened, it changed. And what a change it was. Because when I was a teenager, watching this movie for the first time in a movie theater, and the dog did its transformation into it was shifting from one form to the other. When that happened, and there was a couple ahead of me about 3 or 4 rows down. It was one of those I'm going to take my girlfriend on a date for cuddling, foreplay, scary movie type thing. I don't think they realized what quality movie they were getting into. But anyway, when the Thing is transforming from a dog into what it's going to become next, the girl let out a scream, and I'm not going to tell you how the transformation took place because it's pretty gruesome. But when that happened, I was like, oh my God. I'm seeing a classic here. And it became a classic, and not just because of the very cool but gory special effects from Rob Bottin. It's a classic because a lot of reasons, but the main reason, all the actors, you can't trust anybody because one or more people can be the thing amongst you. So yeah, it basically gained cult status over the years, and it's considered to be one of the best horror movies of all time. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say. So if you haven't seen it yet, see John Carpenter's The Thing. It's all practical effects, no CGI. Wilford Brimley, Kurt Russell, Richard Dysart, a whole bunch of really great actors in it. Of course, now that I'm forgetting names, of course, because I wasn't preparing on doing a movie review. But yeah, it's a classic. I own it, and I've owned it. And it's just a perpetual view. I see it at least twice a year because it's that good. So yeah, this is my book haul. I'll just put these with the other books. Why the hell not? And put that away before I cut my face off. And that's it. I just wanted to say hello. Hope all is well. Went flying yesterday, because flying's my job. It was a Boston-Minneapolis turn on paper. That's how it was supposed to be. But I guess Minneapolis was enjoying some weather. So, of course, they were down one runway. They couldn't keep up with the plowing of it. So we were in a holding pattern. We ran out of gas. We're running out of gas. So we touched down in Madison to get more gas and then continued our journey. And then we went back to Boston on another plane. Made for a long day, but I survived it, and it gave me another hour. See, right now I'm only working enough hours so I can keep my insurance. So I have to work a certain amount of hours per month to do that. So that is all. I hope you folks are well. Take care of yourself. I'm going on 18 minutes. It's probably one of the longer videos I've ever done. So as you can see, if you look behind me, you see I'm kind of into all this stuff anyway. You'll notice up there is Phil from Groundhog Day. You know, you probably can't see him there, but we got the groundhog right next to him. Along with all the other Back to the Future stuff there, action figures and Funko Pops. Oh yes, I also want to mention, I'm also reading, and it cost a lot too. More than, if I would have known this was the product for the price I was paying, I probably would have. It's a Back in Time. It's basically a fond recollection of the movie. It's basically a book of essays on Back to the Future. And so of course I'll just be putting it on my Back to the Future self and back of me. And it's looking back now, it's hard to imagine life without a Back to the Future movie. Or its two sequels, which I love. To me, it's all one gigantic movie. It's probably the best depiction of time travel I've ever seen in popular and any sort of entertainment ever. So, yeah, it's just good, wholesome American entertainment. All right, enough of that. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to finish. I'm just going to sip on my whiskey and write a couple letters. Hope you're doing well. And take care of yourself, folks. Cheers.